Have you ever stopped to wonder why you're suddenly awake at 2:00 a.m., even when your bladder feels barely full? It might seem like a small nuisance, but for many older adults in the United States, this one nightly interruption is quietly robbing them of peace. You tuck yourself in after a long day, hoping for restful hours, but the night breaks itself into fragments, leaving you drained in the morning and anxious throughout the day. Maybe you've tried the usual tricks, drinking less water after dinner, making one last trip to the restroom before bed, or turning to familiar home remedies passed down from family. But nothing truly changes. The sleep is still broken. What if I told you that the answer might not be in your water glass, but on your plate? In this video, we'll gently explore 5 foods that could help soothe your bladder and support undisturbed rest, and 5 common ones that might be causing nighttime disruptions without your knowledge. These changes are subtle, but for many seniors, they've made a real and lasting difference. Before we dive in, I'd love to hear something from you. Where are you tuning in from, and what time is it right now? Please take a moment to share in the comments below. Even a simple note from your day means so much to me. And if you find this content helpful, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss these peaceful and practical insights. You may have noticed as the years gently pass that your nights have grown more restless. You go to bed longing for 6 or 7 hours of uninterrupted rest, but your bladder seems to have a different agenda. Sometimes, just a couple of hours in, you feel an urgent nudge to get up. Not once, but maybe twice or more. And often there's hardly any urine passed at all. The urgency, however, feels very real. It's natural to feel puzzled or even frustrated. Many seniors quietly ask themselves, why now? What changed? But let me reassure you, it's not your fault. It's simply your body's soft way of saying, handle me with a bit more care in this season of life. After age 60, many of our body's internal systems begin to slow. Not in a harmful way, but in a quieter, more delicate rhythm. The kidneys, responsible for filtering waste and balancing fluids, become less active at night. This means that even small amounts of urine become more concentrated. At the same time, the bladder, like a sensitive balloon tucked low in the belly, becomes more reactive. What once felt like a half-full signal now feels like an emergency. This heightened sensitivity is a common part of aging, especially when the bladder has dealt with years of pressure from things like occasional constipation, blood sugar fluctuations, or mild acidity. And then there's something we don't always consider: food. It may sit quietly on your plate, but its effects can echo deep into the night. When we eat meals that are rich, spicy, or acidic in the evening, they don't just stay in the stomach, they impact the entire urinary system. These types of foods can shift the pH of your urine, making it more acidic, which may subtly irritate the inner lining of your bladder. That irritation sends your brain the wrong message. It's time to get up and go, even if there's barely anything there. I once spoke to Mr. Calvin, a 70-year-old from Ohio, who had a habit of drinking orange juice every evening, thinking it was a healthy ritual. But when he changed his evening drink to something milder and non-citrus, his sleep improved dramatically within just a few nights. His story is not uncommon, so the next time your bladder urges you awake before dawn, pause for a moment. It might not be just age. It could be your body gently asking, could you treat me a little more kindly tonight? Let's begin with one of the simplest, most overlooked allies for better sleep: the banana. In many American kitchens, bananas sit patiently on the counter, often reaching their soft golden ripeness without fanfare. But for seniors, this humble fruit can offer more than just nutrition. It can offer peace. Specifically, when bananas are soft and at room temperature, not overly ripe and not cold, they're rich in potassium. This mineral helps relax the smooth muscles in your body, including those around the bladder. That means fewer false alarms from your bladder and more stability through the night. Think of it this way: after 60, our nerves become more sensitive. Even the gentlest signal from the bladder can feel overwhelming. But a ripe banana, with its gentle sweetness, low acidity, and easy digestion, becomes a powerful little helper. It's not flashy, but it works. I recall meeting Miss Judy, a retired librarian in Vermont. She often found herself waking up at 1 a.m., and again at 3 hours. Her doctor suggested trying one ripe banana an hour after dinner. At first she was skeptical, but within a week her nights grew quieter, and her mornings began with renewed energy. The beauty of bananas is that they're familiar, affordable, and kind to the digestive system. They don't stir up acidity like citrus fruits do, and they help keep things moving gently through the gut, which also relieves pressure from the bladder. Just one banana, enjoyed slowly after dinner, can become a quiet part of your healing routine. So next time you're tempted by a post-dinner snack, consider reaching for a banana. Not as just a fruit, but as a quiet partner in your evening peace. For many older adults across the U.S., dinner is more than just a meal. It's a ritual of comfort, conversation, and closure to the day. But what happens when that comfort is followed by bloating, belly pressure, and 2 or 3 wake-ups during the night to relieve the bladder? You might wonder, is this just aging or is something else quietly affecting your nights? Sometimes, the answer isn't about how much we eat, but what we eat after a certain age. Let's talk about papaya, a fruit often brushed aside but filled with gentle power. While many recognize papaya as a natural solution for constipation, its benefits reach beyond the digestive tract. Papaya contains an enzyme called papain, which helps the body break down proteins in a smoother, less effortful way. This allows food to pass gently through the system, keeping the belly light and reducing pressure on surrounding organs, including the bladder. When the abdomen feels unburdened, the bladder has more space to relax and less reason to send urgent signals. You see, as we grow older, even a little bit of trapped gas or bloating can create discomfort. That internal pressure doesn't just make you feel heavy, it can nudge the bladder and trick the brain into thinking it's time to get up. That's how disrupted sleep often begins. I remember visiting Mr. and Mrs. Blake in Indiana, both in their late 60s and fond of hearty evening meals. Mrs. Blake especially enjoyed her spicy pickle with dinner. But night after night, she'd find herself waking up, feeling full and restless. Her neighbor gently suggested swapping the pickle with a small bowl of ripe papaya after dinner. At first, she was reluctant, but after just a week, her digestion improved. Her nights became more peaceful, and her mornings felt lighter. The beauty of papaya lies in its softness and balance. It doesn't bring acidity like citrus, nor does it overwork the stomach. Its mildly alkaline nature keeps the bladder from becoming irritated. If you'd like to try it, aim for a small bowl about 150 grams an hour after dinner. That one quiet habit can help reset your body for deeper sleep. In many households, a tray of fresh fruits is kept ready in the kitchen, a colorful offering to the family, and a habit passed through generations. Among those fruits, pears often sit quietly, uncelebrated. But for those over 60 who find themselves waking 2 or 3 times a night, this gentle fruit might be a quiet hero. You may not think of your bowel movements as having anything to do with your bladder, but in fact, they're closely connected. As we age, digestion slows and the body's ability to move waste efficiently is reduced. If your bowels are not fully cleared, pressure builds in the abdomen and leans silently on the bladder, creating false urgency. This is where the pear steps in. Pears are high in dietary fiber and a naturally occurring compound called sorbitol. This substance draws water into the colon, softens stool, and helps the digestive system move without stress. The result: less pressure in the belly, more room for the bladder, and fewer nighttime interruptions. Take the story of Mr. Gerald, an 80-year-old from Michigan, who used to snack on fried chips every evening. He often felt bloated and found himself making 2 bathroom trips during the night. His granddaughter started offering him a medium pear around 4 p.m., skin intact and lightly washed. Within a few days, his digestion felt smoother and his nighttime wake-ups lessened. If you'd like to try this, choose a pear that's ripe but firm. Chew it slowly, including the skin. The fiber is mostly there. Don't mix it with dairy or heavy foods. Let it stand on its own as a gentle digestive tool. Sometimes peaceful sleep begins with a soft fruit and a quiet choice made in the late afternoon. Now let's talk about something most people throw away without a second thought: pumpkin seeds. In kitchens across the country, these little seeds often get scraped off the cutting board and tossed. But for older men especially, they may hold powerful support for deeper rest. As men move into their 60s and beyond, one of the most common changes they face is prostate enlargement, known as benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. The prostate, a small gland just below the bladder, can begin to swell with age. This swelling puts pressure on the urethra, the passage through which urine flows, causing frequent urges to urinate, particularly during the night. Pumpkin seeds, those green gems inside the shell, are a natural source of zinc, a mineral vital to maintaining prostate health and reducing inflammation. Zinc helps calm the tissues, supporting better bladder control and fewer urgent trips during sleep. It also boosts immune health and hormone balance, which become even more important as we age. I once met Mr. Lionel, a retired science teacher from Oregon. He shared how he had tried several expensive supplements, hoping to find relief. But what truly helped was a small, consistent change. One handful of unsalted, lightly roasted pumpkin seeds in the afternoon. Within 3 weeks, his nighttime wake-ups had reduced significantly. And some nights, he didn't wake at all. Pumpkin seeds don't need fancy recipes. Just rinse them, dry them in the sun or oven, and toast them lightly. No oil, no salt. Eat them slowly, letting the nutrients absorb into your system. For older men navigating bladder concerns, this humble seed may be one of the most natural, affordable tools to regain a restful night. There's something beautifully nostalgic about a warm cup of milk in the evening. For many, it's tied to childhood memories of rainy nights, soft blankets, and stories told in dim light. But when a little turmeric is stirred into that milk, something extraordinary happens. It turns from comfort into healing. Turmeric contains curcumin, a compound known not just in traditional medicine, but now also widely respected by modern research. Curcumin helps calm inflammation throughout the body, including the sensitive lining of the bladder. For seniors, this means less irritation, fewer false urges, and better sleep. But turmeric milk does more than soothe the bladder. It encourages the release of serotonin, a natural chemical that tells your brain it's time to rest. It calms the nervous system, warms the stomach, and gently guides the body towards stillness. This is especially comforting for those who feel restless, chilly, or emotionally unsettled. Before bed, Ms. Dorothy, a grandmother from Wisconsin, used to sip this golden milk 1 hour before bedtime. She skipped sugar and used just a touch of honey when needed. Over time, she found that this 1 cup helped her fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. She would smile and say, "This cup holds more peace than any pill I've ever tried." To make your own, warm a glass of milk and add just half a teaspoon of turmeric. Don't overload it with spices or sweeteners. Keep it simple. Drink it slowly, about an hour before bed, and allow your body to soften. Sometimes the deepest comfort comes not from the bedroom, but from the kitchen, and from what you choose to hold in your hands before the night begins. Let's now take a gentle but important turn. While some foods quietly support our sleep, others, though seemingly healthy, may be stirring the bladder and interrupting our rest in ways we don't always recognize. Let's begin with one that's often seen as a virtuous choice: citrus juice in the evening. In many American households, a glass of fresh orange or grapefruit juice feels like a refreshing way to end the day. It's loaded with vitamin C, it tastes clean, and it's often associated with cleansing the system. But for older adults who wake up once, twice, or even 3 times a night to use the bathroom, this bedtime habit might be doing more harm than good. It's not that citrus fruits are inherently bad. They offer wonderful nutrients. But timing matters deeply, especially for seniors. Citrus fruits like oranges and grapefruits are high in citric acid. While this helps younger bodies with digestion in older adults, the same acid can irritate the bladder lining, especially at night when the body is more vulnerable to internal shifts. When the acid from these fruits filters into the urine, it lowers the pH, making the urine more acidic. That acidic urine then touches the inside of the bladder, which after 60 can be more sensitive and reactive. Even a small amount of urine can suddenly feel urgent, creating that uncomfortable need to get up even if the bladder isn't truly full. Mr. Howard, a 74-year-old from Pennsylvania, used to have a daily routine of drinking fresh squeezed orange juice after dinner. He thought it helped his digestion and kept him regular, but he also found himself waking up twice every night. Once he began drinking his juice earlier in the day, by lunchtime, He noticed a marked difference in just a few days. So if you enjoy citrus, there's no need to remove it from your life. Just shift it to the first half of the day, ideally before 2 p.m., when your digestion is strongest and your bladder has time to process and empty before bedtime. Often it's not about giving something up, it's about giving it the right moment. Another fruit that often sneaks into the evening routine is pineapple. With its sunny color, tropical flavor, and naturally sweet tang, it's hard to resist. Many seniors include it in their fruit salads or enjoy a few slices after dinner, thinking it will cool the body and help with digestion. But beneath its cheerful exterior, pineapple holds a surprise. Pineapple contains bromelain, a powerful enzyme that aids in protein breakdown and reduces inflammation. While that may sound like a good thing, and often it is, bromelain also stimulates intestinal movement. For a body that's winding down, this stimulation can be counterproductive. You see, as we age, the muscle tone around our organs shifts, and our internal spaces get cozier. A sudden increase in intestinal activity, even a mild one, can press against the bladder and make it feel full. It's not the bladder itself causing the problem, but the movement around it. This creates a sense of urgency, disrupting what should be a calm night. I remember Miss Carla, a 69-year-old from Colorado, who loved her pineapple slices after dinner. She believed they helped her stay cool and hydrated, but she often felt bloated and woke twice every night. Once she moved her pineapple to early afternoon and replaced her evening fruit with a softer, calming option, she found her nights to be much more restful. So enjoy pineapple, just not too late. Try to eat it before 3 p.m. when your digestion is active and your body can handle the stimulation. Good health is about flow and rhythm, not restriction. Now let's turn to another fruit that may look innocent but can quietly stir up nighttime trouble. Grapes. These little orbs are sweet, hydrating, and easy to enjoy. No peeling, no mess, just a handful out of the fridge and onto your plate. But what many don't realize is that grapes can be tricky, especially in the evening. Grapes are high in natural sugars and have thin skins that are just a bit harder to digest, particularly for older adults. As digestion slows with age, these sugars may begin to ferment in the intestines if eaten too late, especially when combined with other evening foods. That fermentation creates gas. And gas isn't just uncomfortable, it creates internal pressure. That pressure in turn leans on the bladder, which becomes more sensitive with age. Even if the bladder is only a quarter full, it may send loud signals that it's time to wake up and go. This is how grapes, though soft and sweet, can disturb a senior's sleep. I think of Mr. Ray from Illinois, who enjoyed a small bowl of grapes after dinner each night. He believed it was a light, healthy snack, yet he found himself waking at midnight and again around when he moved his grapes to the afternoon and began skipping them at night. The change was swift. He began to sleep deeply, waking only with the sunrise. If you love grapes, don't give them up. Just move them earlier in the day. Try peeling them if your digestion feels sluggish, and never mix them with yogurt or heavy meals. Let them stand alone, under the sun, not the moon. Now we come to something that's a staple in nearly every salad plate: tomatoes. Bright, juicy, and full of flavor. They seem like the perfect way to finish a meal. But for seniors, especially those dealing with nighttime bladder sensitivity, raw tomatoes might not be as gentle as they appear. Tomatoes contain oxalates, a natural compound that can mildly irritate the urinary tract. In younger people, this is often unnoticed. But after 60, the bladder lining becomes more reactive. Combine that with the natural acidity of raw tomato, and you get a perfect recipe for bladder irritation. The result? You wake up during the night with a sense of urgency, even when your bladder isn't full. And the next day, you feel tired and confused, wondering why rest is always just out of reach. Ms. Helen, a 72-year-old from Nebraska, never skipped her evening salad. A few slices of raw tomato, some onion and cucumber were her favorites. Yet her nights were consistently broken. When she stopped eating raw tomato at dinner and began including it cooked in her soups or stews, her sleep finally began to improve. Cooking tomatoes reduces their acidity and softens their oxalate impact. So don't toss them out, just change how you use them. A slow-cooked stew or a warm curry might serve you better than a cold slice. Now let's talk about a food that carries a gentle reputation. Curd, or as it's commonly known in the US, yogurt. For generations, it's been praised as a digestive aid, a cooling companion to meals, and a symbol of balance. Many older adults enjoy it with rice, plain in a bowl, or blended with fruit for an evening snack. But for those struggling with nighttime urination, this peaceful habit may need a second look. Yogurt, when eaten at the wrong time or combined with certain fruits, can quietly stir up the very discomfort you're trying to soothe. Here's why. Curd contains milk proteins and natural bacteria, which are typically good for the gut. But when mixed with sugary fruits like banana, pomegranate, or grapes and eaten after sunset, a slow fermentation begins in the stomach. This fermentation process creates gas and mild bloating. While this may not cause sharp pain, it does create internal pressure, particularly in older bodies where digestion is already slower and more delicate. That pressure leans gently, but persistently against the bladder. And once again, a bladder that's only half full begins to send a wake-up call to the brain. Mr. Steven, a retired accountant from Missouri, used to enjoy a small bowl of banana yogurt every evening, believing it was a calming end to the day. But he often complained of waking at least twice during the night. Once he shifted his routine, eating fruit in the afternoon and plain warm milk at night, his sleep began to improve steadily. This doesn't mean yogurt is harmful. It means that the timing and combination matter more after 60. To support better rest, enjoy fruit alone, preferably before mid-afternoon, and have your yogurt earlier in the day, perhaps with lunch when digestion is at its strongest. The key is to give your body space to rest, not work while you sleep. You see, as we grow older, health becomes less about grand changes and more about honoring small, consistent choices. For older adults who are tired of waking up repeatedly at night, these adjustments are simple but powerful. You don't need complicated routines or expensive treatments. Just a few calm habits can create a ripple of relief throughout your night. One of those habits is shifting your dinner time. Many people eat late into the evening, not realizing the impact it has on the body's overnight rhythm. When you eat after 8:00 p.m., your digestive system stays active long into the night, churning and processing while you try to rest. This activity, in turn, creates pressure within the belly and around the bladder, making nighttime urination more likely. Try eating your final meal by 7:00 or 7:30 p.m. at the latest. This gives your body enough time to digest before bedtime, allowing your stomach and bladder to relax together. You'll be surprised how much difference it can make in the quality of your sleep. Another quiet but essential habit is watching your fluid intake in the evening. Hydration is critical during the day, but after 8:00 p.m. it's best to sip lightly. If you drink large amounts of water too close to bedtime, your kidneys continue filtering, your bladder fills, and your sleep is broken. Instead, drink most of your water during the daytime, and let the evening be a time of light sipping and quiet preparation for sleep. Make it a ritual to empty your bladder just before going to bed, even if the urge is mild. This small step helps reset your body and gives you a stronger chance of sleeping through the night without interruption. Also, during the day, try not to hold in urine for too long. Delaying your trip to the restroom actually trains the bladder to overreact, becoming more sensitive to even the smallest signals. And over time, this habit contributes to those frustrating wake-ups during the night. Movement is another powerful friend in your evening routine. A slow 10-minute walk after dinner, or even a few gentle stretches beside your bed, can ease digestion, relax the nervous system, and gently guide your body toward rest. You don't need intensity, just intention. Your body recognizes the difference between rushing and relaxing. All of these habits may sound simple, but in the body of someone over 60, they carry enormous value. They send a message, not just to your bladder, but to your entire being. I'm treating you with care. And your body responds with deeper sleep, fewer interruptions, and mornings that feel brighter and stronger. So today, we've explored two gentle truths. First, that some foods support the bladder and calm the night. Second, that other foods, when taken too late or in the wrong form, can quietly disrupt that rest. We've looked at 5 foods that comfort the body and 5 that may create irritation, even when they seem healthy on the surface. But this is not about cutting out the joy of eating. It's about choosing timing, combinations, and awareness. As we age, our bodies whisper more than they shout. And if we listen with love, those whispers become wisdom. Let's bring all of this together with one final truth. Good health, especially after 60, often doesn't come from big changes or brand new routines. It comes from subtle shifts, from honoring your body's quiet needs, from choosing your foods and timing with care, and from understanding that your comfort is worth protecting. For seniors who struggle with waking up at night to urinate, these small but thoughtful adjustments can change everything. And the best part? You already have most of the tools within reach. No complicated medications, no expensive supplements, just awareness, consistency, and kindness toward your body. Start by looking at your dinner routine. Aim to eat your evening meal earlier, before 7:30 p.m. if possible. This gives your digestive system time to wind down before sleep, which reduces pressure on the bladder and lowers the chances of midnight wake-ups. When digestion happens earlier, your body enters rest mode more naturally. Next, manage your fluids with wisdom. Stay well hydrated throughout the day, but ease off on water after 8 p.m. Your kidneys will slow their work, your bladder won't be as active, and you're less likely to be jolted awake. And before heading to bed, make sure to fully empty your bladder even if the urge feels small. Also, avoid the habit of holding in urine during the day. This can confuse the bladder and train it to send urgent signals too quickly. Instead, go when your body says to go. This retrains your bladder to operate calmly and appropriately, especially when you're resting at night. After dinner, include some form of light movement. A slow walk through the hallway, a few seated stretches while you breathe deeply. This movement isn't about burning calories, it's about supporting digestion, relaxing your nerves, and letting your body know, we're done for the day. It's time to settle. These gentle actions speak volumes to the body. They send signals of peace, readiness, and rhythm. And in return, your sleep becomes deeper. Your dreams become clearer. Your mornings feel more refreshed. To recap gently, we've explored 10 foods and habits. 5 that support restful sleep by calming the bladder, and 5 that may quietly disrupt it when eaten too late. We've looked at bananas, papayas, pears, pumpkin seeds, and turmeric milk, all gentle companions for peaceful nights. We've also learned to be cautious with citrus juices, pineapple, grapes, raw tomatoes, and yogurt mixed with fruit at night, not because they're bad, but because their timing matters. Remember Mr. Ravi from Washington, a retired postmaster who swore by his post-dinner orange juice. He thought it helped digestion. But when he learned that acidic citrus could irritate the bladder, he made one simple change. He moved the juice to lunchtime, and within a few days, he began sleeping through the night. That's the heart of graceful aging. It's not about removing joy. It's about placing joy in the right time of day. It's about listening to the body's whisper before it becomes a shout. And it's about learning, adjusting, and honoring the phase of life you're in with gentleness and wisdom. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching from, and what time is it as you listen to this? Even a single word from your day, or simply writing hope in the comments, means more than you know. If you found value in this video, please subscribe to the channel and consider sharing it with someone who may need a little nighttime peace. May your evenings be soft, your sleep deep, and your mornings filled with ease and light. Your body has carried you this far, and now it's asking you ever so gently to walk with it, kindness.